If I were to name a genre that has influenced me the most, it would have to be westerns. The archetypal storytelling and the hero's journey have always been an anchor to these age-old fables that have existed since the dawn of cinema. In particular, Tarantino's Django Unchained sits high on the shelf of beautiful contemporary throwbacks to the old ways of filmmaking. The film is set 2 years before the American Civil War. Django, a slave, finds himself accompanying an unorthodox German bounty hunter named Dr. King Schultz. The pair are on a mission to capture the vicious Brittle brothers. Through great teamwork, their mission is successful. Schultz frees Django from his slavery. But their story is not over yet. A deal is made and they begin to hunt the South's most wanted criminals in prep for rescuing Django's long-lost wife, who is still a slave on the infamous Candyland plantation. Allow me to introduce you. Our protagonist, Django. From his name being in the title, experiencing the most amount of screen time, and the intro beginning with him, it becomes obvious and apparent that Django is our main protagonist and our point of interest in the story. There are many themes that are intertwined into this dynamic narrative, themes such as love, revenge, friendship, murder, racism, torture, consequence, honor, pride, freedom, enslavement, and others. However, in phrasing a thematic statement, we can generalize to say that Tarantino is pushing the idea that love triumphs over hate, good beats evil, and pride seeks to blindside those who indulge in it. We can tell this from the overall arc of Django's love for Brunhilde, which motivates him to achieve objective after objective in pursuit of his goal. We also understand the dynamics of the evil stock-like character Calvin Candy, instantly noticing his recognizable traits as the villain and despising his manipulation of power. Which is why we, as the audience, rejoice when Dr. King Schultz, a character who has been our virtuous anchor and father-like figure to the film's protagonist, shoots Candy in the heart. We feel the satisfaction because it fulfills the moral expectation we hold in recognizing good overpowering evil. Django, despite being portrayed as a strong, heroic and invincible figure, holds a deep-seated wound that informs his actions within the narrative. This wound began when Django was separated from Brunhilde through the African-American slave trade. This complements his super objective as it justifies his need to find his wife and take her to a place where they may love each other openly, without fear of persecution. As well as this, it pushes him to achieve his many different scene-based objectives, such as find the Brittle brothers so he may earn his freedom. I think it is important to note, many look at Django as though the film is solely about the protagonist's pursuit of revenge. However, these series of actions come as a result of Django in pursuit of actively seeking out his super objective.
Candy. That's the repellent gentleman who owns her. Not while I got freedom. Not while I got my gun.
In the film, there are two main characters that stand as reflective characters that reveal something profound and unseen within our protagonist. These two characters include both Dr. King Schultz and Brunhilde von Schaft. Both of these characters manage to draw out specific traits from our central figure that cement him as a dynamic representation as the film's lead. Schultz manages to employ a fatherly approach that inspires the best in Django and assists him in realizing his true potential and capability in achieving his goal, whilst Brunhilde showcases Django's desirability, masculinity, power, charisma, and all-round romanticism. These are all qualities that may have been unexplored in the character if it weren't for the reflective-based exposition found in Schultz and Brunhilde. The intention behind having two reflective characters to bring to light two different conflicting qualities is to portray the gunslinger trope in a way that doesn't avoid the stereotype's stock portrayal, but instead utilizes the associative traits to originate it once more for a contemporary audience. And despite there being a plethora of antagonists that Django must overcome, the one that stands in the way of Django achieving his objective the most would be Calvin Candy, as he holds the most power over the outcome of Brunhilde's freedom, and in doing so, threatens the success of Django's mission. This villainous figure also works as the roots to the many other mini hurdles our lead is set to endure. For in meeting Candy, Django also adds many other villainous figures to the obituary, and must take on the army of henchmen, the sidekick Billy Crash, and the right-hand man, Steven. So in presenting himself as the most powerful kingpin in all the South, we as the audience feel threatened by Candy's powerful unpredictability and his plentiful allies that give weight to his antagonism. The inciting incident that propels the narrative into action is the entrance of Dr. King Schultz in the opening of the film, as he offers a proposition to Django, enticing him with the idea of becoming a free man and the possibilities that might open towards his super objective of freeing Broomhilda in doing so. Therefore, Django joins forces with Schultz and begins to be disguised as a free man slave trader in the hope of purchasing his wife, as well as engaging in some bounty hunting along the way in prep for his arrival at Candyland. However, this is no easy task, as there are obstacles that prevent Schultz and Django from progressing in the narrative, and they are forced to deal with these issues in order to move forward, whether that be snatching bounties or avoiding the KKK. As well as this, the obstacles in the story work as an archetypal tangent that stem from the ideas listed by Schultz later in the film.
Brunhilde was a princess.
A hero arises brave enough to save her. He slays a dragon because he's not afraid of him.
And he walks through hellfire because Brunhilde's worth it.
This creates a larger payoff for the audience in recognizing the triumph of finally reaching a resolution after battling away at complication-based turmoil. In my opinion, I believe one of Django's biggest obstacles is not letting his emotions get the better of him in the pursuit of his objective. This is a common struggle for both Django and Schultz.
You can never break character. If you insist.
What makes you such a Mandingo expert?
I'm curious what makes you so curious.
And inevitably, Schultz fails to maintain his self-control and pays the fatal price, whilst Django does not and consistently continues to pursue his super objective and is rewarded in the conclusion of the story, finally achieving his goal once and for all and being reunited in freedom with his love, destined to live happily ever after. This film is one that will stay with me forever, and it continues to grow on me as a keen cinephile. It is one of the few that manages to capture the nostalgia and the golden age of cinema without compromising the spine of the story. And once this technique is mastered, there are no limits to the exploration of cinematic storytelling. The world is your oyster, and the screen is your sterling silver, set, ready, and waiting for your images to appear. Thanks for listening.
Django, hai amato solo lei. Django, ma dimentica se puoi che si vive, che si ama, che si ama una volta sola. Django, hai amato solo lei. Django non è più vicino a te, l'hai amata, l'hai perduta, l'hai perduta per sempre, Django.